just for people that don't know, you are, I think, in Kuwait, if I'm not mistaken. Can you remind everybody a little bit about yourself or introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I think so. We can hear you pretty well.
Awesome. My name is Sara, of course, and I'm Egyptian American. I live in Kuwait, and I'm a mother of four, and I do health and wellness coaching.
Okay, and you have been kind of on a somewhat carnivorous diet for a little time now, as I'm not mistaken, as I recall.
Yes, I've been practicing carnivore for 2 years, but I've been committed with it and fasting for officially a year.
Okay, and so how are things in Kuwait with regard to a carnivore diet? We don't get a lot of. I've seen a few folks. I've interacted with a few folks from, what we would consider the Middle East. But how does Kuwait with? Well, I guess we could talk. How's life in Kuwait with this crazy virus stuff, and then maybe more generally, we could talk about how hard it is to do carnivore there.
The corona situation is, I think, people are just not getting used to stay at home. Kuwait doesn't have a lot of entertainment facilities more than restaurants and coffee shops, so they feel like they cut the outdoor activities for them, so they are home now all the time, which is little bit a situation that I don't think anyone is used to. But over here, they usually never home. They always at coffee shops and restaurants or gyms. And I think it's new. In my situation, for instance, I love home, so I'm very happy with the idea that we're home.
Are they? I know we talked to we have a person in here, Wendy, who's from South Africa. She said they are, and they are basically troops on the street enforcing, not even letting people walk their dogs. Is it to that level there in Kuwait?
No, we have curfew that we can't leave the house between 5 p.m. till 4 a.m. the day after. But before the curfew, people can still go do things, but they can't be in big number of community. Like it can be more 5 people gathering. There can't be a certain number of people in one store. So it's more like the regular like the regular information about corona, like where it applies worldwide. But there's nothing here weird more than the curfew to not leave your home anytime between 5 till 4 next day.
And that's how long is that in effect? Did they give you a date? I know there's a lockdown in South Africa for like 3 weeks. Did they say we're going to do this for X period of time, or is it we don't know yet?
It was 2 weeks. I thought everything was going back to its regular basis this week, but they haven't announced anything. So people are still at home, and we're doing our best from home to get healthier and motivate each other. I think it's really good experience, to be honest. I understand the whole disease idea is not the good part of it, but I think we all needed that. We all just needed to be home for a little bit, understand what we're doing with our health and our well-being, and like it's good experience. And I think people that going through hard time now, coping, being home, it's more than just a place of complaint that we can't go outdoor. There's just something that they're not comfortable with in their own environment. I feel like it's a good thing to understand how to be in home healthy and less bored and create things that's better for you and better for your health. It's good awareness for ourselves right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was just looking at the stats on Kuwait, and so there's been 255 cases total, 0 deaths. 12 that are critical, and it started. The first one was in February 23rd. So looks like it's not. Well, I don't know how many people live in Kuwait. How many people live in Kuwait? Is there a couple million?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not reaching some of the levels that some of the other. And I don't know what the test. Do they have widespread testing? That's the other thing. When a lot of these countries have low numbers, we don't have probably good testing capabilities. So do they seem to be testing a lot of people, or do you know?
No, I'm not aware of all of that. But if you go to a grocery shop here, they will have like some sort of desk in front of a grocery shop to make sure you don't have a fever or you're not coughing and you're cleaning your hand before you get in the grocery shop. Like they have precautions like that. And I think like mostly it just people are just afraid from spreading flu right now in general. Like if you cough outside, it's kind of like where your head turns and be like, did you just cough? But yeah, I think it's not a big thing here. I haven't heard of anything dramatic happen with the corona in Kuwait. We heard a lot about Iran, and Iran is our neighbors, but we haven't heard about anything in Kuwait.
Yeah,
That's
somebody was commenting and asking, and I suspect it's really high, but things like diabetes. Do we have a obesity and diabetes problem in Kuwait currently?
yes.
Yes.
Indeed, yes.
Yes. Okay.
And people in Kuwait, which is I always love to tap into the positive things that's happening here. We have a lot of fitness facilities, which is ridiculous expensive in their membership rates, but there is great awareness when it comes to workouts. But when it comes to food, people would go work out and go order junk food, and it's crazy that right now you find people depressed because from 5 p.m. till 4 next day, they can't order dinner from delivery places, and they rely all the time from outdoor foods and junk food, and yeah, the food habit here is not in its
Yeah.
best.
What is a typical diet in Kuwait? What is a typical type of person's diet? What kind of foods are popular there?
So originally, Arabs, they love meat. Like we love meat. We born where we know like at certain time of the year we have to, kill a sheep or a cow and feed it to the poor and take a portion of it for us. I don't know if you heard about this. It comes after Ramadan, after fasting, and we love meat. But beside the meat, if meat is not necessarily in the table or in the main dish, they will eat tons of rice, tons of bread, tons of sauces and vegetable dishes that you cook with red sauce and white sauce and all kind of sauce. So they right now Americanized with the food habits. If they jump into everything vegan, everything cheeseburger. We have few restaurants that's vegan here, and yeah, I feel like it's a trend. It's not like they really feel it. It's just a trend. Everyone's doing it.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about how do you do carnivore in Kuwait? Is it easy to get meat? Is it cheap to get meat? Do you have a lot of variety? What's that like?
Everything is here. Like so, I remember once you said people that can't afford the steak can't afford bacon and eggs, and it's about awareness towards what is the benefits from the whole idea. So, if someone prefer to make a sandwich like tacos full of cheese, or for instance full of vegetables, full of anything, and not go and make an egg and bacon, it's a choice. There's all kinds of meat here. There is fresh chickens, there's all kind of cow meat. We don't have pork, of course, but we have all kind of beef. We have all kind of meat. We have everything. We have hot dogs, we have sausages, but it's all turkey or cow, but we don't have pork items available here.
Yeah.
The price range is not bad at all, and I want to be wise with my converting. Like, I don't know, I've sent you once like the pieces that we get. I usually get a piece like ribeye that big, and I would cut it to slices and store it, and that would cost me in KDs 35. I'm not sure how much would that be in dollars, maybe $150.
Okay. So you mentioned some fasting as well. What are your thoughts on that? How do you employ fasting with or without a carnivore diet?
I love fasting. So what I do is I would eat my meals between lunch and dinner. And that would be a piece of steak at lunch, a piece of steak at dinner, with eggs at lunch, with eggs at dinner, or without. And I would sleep, wake up, skip breakfast, and start again lunch and dinner. In between, I would have three broth jars, and I would eat the marrow with my broth. So my broth is usually cooked with the marrow, or the bone that's inside the broth. I would just divide it and suck the marrow and then eat the broth. But I usually have a lot of broth in my day, and it's amazing. I mean, with workout or without workout, I feel toned. I did trifecta Spartan race that was like very, very tense physically, and I felt like I was very strong, running really fast, and I wake up with great energy. I don't need coffee as much. My skin is great, and I feel happy. I feel also happy, which is another great thing. And I know that our brain needs fats. And in my meat cuts, I love fats. I love to cook it with a lot of butter, and I love to enjoy the fat in my food. Before, I used to be very terrified from the whole fat idea. Now I love to eat the fats. Like, if I eat steak with people that doesn't like the fat, they give me the fat. I feel lucky. I love the fats in the whole idea of a carnivore too.
Yeah,
So I
so
used before to eat a lot of chicken when I first started, and eggs. Now I'm more focused in meat, and I feel I can't eat fish at all, and I rarely could eat chicken, but I feel very hungry for meat all the time.
yeah, I think a lot of people do find that normal common trend with people preferring sort of red meat over chicken and some of the other things. I've recently played with adding a little more fish into my diet so far without negative effect, although some people tend to not do that. But so you would certainly say you follow a more high fat approach than a lean approach. Is that
Yes. For sure, yes. I love the marrow. See, again, where I'm coming from, we eat also a lot of organs. So when we love kidneys and livers and brains and tongues, I know this not sound, I hope this doesn't sound weird right now. We're discussing carnivore. I think this is the only place where I can say eat those things. And those things like very fatty, very delicious, and I can't believe like how much could I eat with just skipping breakfast. And there's days where I don't even work out, and I feel toned and I haven't gained an inch. I feel my body is just pretty much working itself out just by eating right and doing simple things correct when I move. So like when I move, I would always make sure I'm breathing correctly, tucking my tummy in, straightening my back, simple things that my awareness would lead me to, and I would feel it serving me physically very well. And around my kids, now that they see the whole time I'm eating meat, if I serve them something else but meat, they would sit beside me, want me to feed them the meat because they want to eat the meat. And now they say, "Oh, I love the fats. I love the fats." So yeah, it's very good. It's a very good thing, and I feel very energetic. I sleep better. I feel satisfied with my hunger. I don't feel hungry, and I feel it created great emotional balance when it comes to emotional eating habits. I wouldn't crave sweets as much. Before, I used to be into sweets more. Now I do grab a cookie here and there, but it would be because it's someone has made it and it will be why not have a piece? But I would never go to a shop and be like, I'm gonna shop for cookies or donuts. Caffeine has decreased. It just everything. And I really want to tap into the broth. Like, I feel the broth is our best friend in this diet. The broth and the marrow should be like a main thing in our carnivore diet, because I feel the broth has added great value to my skin, my hair, my sleep, and my energy level. I truly believe in the broth, and I feel it's that side dish that comes with every meal that we could have as a soup that adds a lot of value to our health.
Yeah, marrow is delicious for, I mean, and certainly a lot of folks here eat organs. I mean, I don't eat them that, I'm not a fan of them personally, but I think a lot of people do, and it's completely fine. But marrow is particularly delicious, and some people will consider that an organ, I suppose. And certain organs are going to have more fat than others. Brain is obviously very fatty, whereas kidney and liver tend to be not as fat, tend to be, unless you're eating foie gras, and then it's very fatty. But for the most part, it is not. How did you find out about a carnivore, and what caused you to do that? Somebody's asking. I know you said it's been about 2 years now. So what introduced you, and how's it helped you, or what made you?
I'm very eager about my health. So I'm very eager about self-awareness when it comes to health and well-being. And a few years back, I remember I was in this path of very confused with my food habit and very confused with what I'm eating. And I was following this green juices and all this kind of juices. I don't know if you remember, we chatted about this before. And I would believe that I should feel good, and I wouldn't feel good. I would feel tired and adrenaline fatigue most of the time when I work out, and I would feel weak, and I don't know how it affects your mental health, but I was very unfocused, and I could not do a task complete without having to sit down for a little bit. And then I came through Joe Rogan's interview with you, and you spoke about a lot of scientific facts that I think this what makes it stand out big time. And I was speaking to, God bless, Mike. I will send you his name. He also one guy who does fitness in the States, and he's kind of popular in the social media. He also follow carnivore diet, but through someone else. But I told him about you, and he was like, someone else. He will also send you his name. He typed it to me. So I seen the interviews, Joe Rogan, and then I was like, huh. And then I started to look more into the carnivore diet and understand it more. And then I was like, well, naturally, I born eating a lot of meat through my family. And we always have organs in our fridge. What makes me not to go back and try? So when I start to try, I start to get very hungry, so I would eat 7 pieces of steak at once. And then I start to get very constipated and very unhappy. I was like, what's happening? Why I'm so hungry? Why I'm eating 7 pieces of steaks? And then I remember I asked you that question too, and then you said in the beginning, it's that shift where everything just takes time, and this will happen, and I may gain some weight, and this may change. And it did. Our body took a lot of time to being misled with what we're doing with it. And now that we're trying to switch it to something works, it took me a year to actually value the idea of time and food. Like, it took me a long time to mess around with things that was not healthy as much as it sounded healthy. And then coming back here now, I'm like, I can't think that I could eat potatoes again. And nothing bad about vegetables and fruits. I know you brought a lot of information about fruits and vegetables and how they create poison once they are actually, is I'm saying the right thing? You said something about there's toxins that comes out from, I think it was black vegetables, something like eggplants and tomatoes, or is I'm saying the information right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, those those vegetables have some things in there, tomatine from tomatoes. We've got various different compounds and things that can, for some people, be problematic. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I was going to ask
Yeah.
you about. So you say you do a lot of health and fitness consultation, coaching, so on and so forth. How effective weight are you at getting people to try a carnivorous diet, or is that something people you even consider with folks?
Okay, so what I do with my clients is I follow two things. I share with them the idea of we could have 1,000 choice in food, and it just add one more confusing thing to our life. Or we could just eat meat and fast and feel better and feel good, and this is one less thing to worry about. And I would give them choices to just try something like what you prefer in meat. Do you prefer chicken? Do you prefer fish? Do you prefer cow? Do you prefer whatever you prefer? And in Middle East, it's easy to approach people that way because, again, naturally, we do love meat. We do eat a lot of meat, and we have that famous big dish, but it has a lot of rice, where we kill a sheep and we put in the middle and we cook it with rice, and people will not eat the rice, they will eat the sheep, the sheep. Yes, I hope I said the word right. And so it's easy to tell them that. And then I would be like, well, follow Dr. Sean Baker, see his page, he put a lot of scientific information. And I'd be like, it works for me. And then people would, give it a try. About fitness approach, I usually don't force people to work out as in you have to follow a certain workout regime. I just want them to be healthy and feel good. So I would recommend basic workouts like walking, jogging, things that I know that it will not cost them money, like joining a gym, because in Kuwait gyms are ridiculously expensive. And I know people can do a lot of things in their own, like you do from your home, and we all doing it right now. So I would not tap into workout as an expert and tell people what to do in workout, but I just want them to feel good about themselves in the healthy way, which is very basic workouts. Take the stairs more, walk longer, jog if you can, but I will not put them in a program for fitness as a fitness instructor, because I'm not.
Do you in Kuwait, is there like an official health policy guideline on what people should use? Is it reflective of what we are told in the United States about fruits, vegetables, grains, or is it or is it a little different?
No, I think it's different. I don't think over here we have a lot of attention when it comes to health and awareness, to be honest with you. And I think people are always focused in fitness and not what they eat. And it's crazy because you would go to the gym, and if you ask them like how many members come here or how many members the gym have, they could have a membership of 1,000 people and maybe 300 only showing up, and not on a regular basis. But it's just that thing that's cool to have. I'm a member in that place. The majority of Kuwaitis, no, they don't pay attention to their food. And it's so funny, like now, right before I joined you, I was out passing by a grocery shop, and Hardee's, Hardee's is like McDonald's. That place was packed just because before the curfew, people want to pick food from Hardee's. But the grocery shop was almost empty. And yeah, I think over here food needs a lot of understanding and clarity.
What I guess from a somebody's asking about your family and your kids with regard to a carnivore diet. Does your family are they concerned about your welfare? Do they complain? And then how do your kids eat?
What the question about the kids before they eat? What is it? I didn't hear it I didn't get it from
So,
the beginning.
what are you feeding your children?
I for breakfast I usually would make eggs or oatmeal. I don't push on them the carnivore diet fully yet because I made my choice based on how I feel. So I don't want to put them anywhere where it sounds like a force, but they now want more meat and more meat and more meat. So at lunch, there's always meat, and there is pasta on the side, or there's never salad, but there's pasta or some pastries. And little by little, I could see this is decreasing in lunch plans and dinner plans, but I can't take cereal from them yet. I can't cut everything off. They are healthy with what they eat, and they are very active. I did my Spartan race with my boys, and yeah, I see it little by little. My girls, they are twins and they are 4, and they do eat from my plate all the time, more than anything else on the table. And I was thinking the other day, I have a lot of leftovers rice or leftovers pasta. Guys, if you don't want to eat this anymore, we don't have to even put it there. So I can see little by little they are eating more of what they see me eating most of the time. One thing I love though so much is fried chicken, and I totally understand it's fried with bread, with breading, but I wouldn't eat it every day or even once a week, but I would have it at least like once a month or twice a month. I love fried chicken.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people here that wouldn't eat fried chicken or some of the other things.
Yes.
What do you ever find a negative consequence to kind of going off plan, like when you do these sort of things that maybe are not fully carnivore, that ever affect you negatively at this point?
I don't think so. I think if it's, like if for instance, if I grab the cookie um, once a week, I feel with my fasting, I don't really feel the effect of the cookie even attracting me to want more cookie. I feel it was just that delicious cookie. I remember also you said something about sweets, like someone asked you for what else would you eat but meat, and you said it would be sweet because it's delicious. Because I wouldn't eat vegetables anymore or pasta or rice, but I can't force my kids, yet, but I could see it happening, taking its own time, but it's happening. In my diet plan, fried chicken is something pops every blue moon, I would say, but I love it. And if I see it in front of me, like, I would eat fried chicken. I would eat it because I really love it, you know what I mean? But I still feel it's a chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I would eat chocolate cake every day, or whatever. I mean, those things we like that, it doesn't change. I remember my daughter was asking me, Daddy, why can't sugar be healthy for us? And I said, well, that's the way it is. I wish it was too. Then we would all be happy sugar addicts, right? Without health consequences. But that's not yeah, Brooks talking about it's hot fudge sundae and tiramisu. But yeah, so what is, as far as training goes, do you find that how do you, when you do your exercise, how do you plan meals around that? Do you supplement it with carbohydrates? Are you fueling basically on fat? How are you doing with that?
I work out in a fasting state, and I have very good stamina with my workouts. I love when I work out, to just feel not tired or running out of breath. I just love to feel my energy as I started going through it till the end. I still feel good. I'm ready for more. And this is how I work out every morning. I always put my workouts on my story, and I work out a lot from my home. And my kids work out with me too. I usually eat after a few hours from my workout, and this would be lunch because I work out first thing in the morning, and that would be steak. I had recently Wagyu meat. I don't know if I said it right. Wagyu.
Yeah, that's fine. Wagyu,
Yeah.
that's probably.
Yes, and I still have that, and very delicious. I eat 2 pieces at lunch, 2 pieces at dinner, or one at lunch, one at dinner, depending on how hungry I feel. But in between that, I do drink a lot of broth.
Do you make your own broth, or is that something
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah. I sent you once the recipe. I get the bones from the butcher, and I boil the bones for 12 hours. As I simmer it for 12 hours, and I make sure before I buy it, it has marrow. Like there's good marrow, good amount of marrow inside, and fats around the bone. And then I would simmer it for 12 hours. I would put salt and pepper, fill it in jars, and yeah, and drink it.
Is there a favorite? Is there a favorite bone that do you like chicken bones or beef bones, or where do you?
No, beef bones. Beef bones. Always beef bones. I've tried before fish broth. I've tried before chicken broth. Nothing like beef broth. It's the best.
Yeah, I've had. I think I tend to prefer beef as well, but I'm not I don't do a lot of it, although I'm contemplating adding a little bit more. Anything else? There's some questions. I'm trying to find if there's any questions there.
And I feel like I don't know how to explain that. Like you have high energy, your body works like, in my experience, I feel my body's like a fat burner machine. And I always feel like I'm healthy and feeling my bones, my knees. Whenever I used to go down, like bend my knees, I used to always hear the sounds like in between my, I don't know how to say this in English, like in my joints, like in my knees, and now that's not there anymore. I used to have pain in my joints, and that's just not there anymore. I used to have problems sleeping, and that's not there anymore. And I do know that also the amount of fat I take assists me a lot, but I don't know how that fitting in the carnivore concept, but it does serve me a lot. Like I love my meat with fats, and I love my broth with fats, and I love my marrow. Like I have to eat a lot of marrow in my day. Like yeah, it's very good things.
Yeah, somebody was asking, is there an issue? Currently with the coronavirus, are they running into meat shortage, and how expensive is meat in Kuwait? Let's say like for maybe something like ground beef, what would that run the normal person?
Not expensive. Like like it's not expensive. Like the choices of meat could be from bologna to bacon to all of these choices. I consider bologna and stuff like that processed food. I remember I also told you that because I don't know how they manage to seal it in whatever they seal it and all of that. It's not expensive if you buy bacon and mortadella or stuff like that. It's not expensive at all. Like I would say 1 kg 750, that would be like maybe $10 a pack of mortadella and maybe $20 a thing of bacon. But in where I can manage like to get the steak and stuff and the bones, those stuff also, like I have to send you a picture one day of how big it is and the price in it, compared to the States. But I don't think they will ever have shortage here for meat. I haven't heard anything about that, or the butcher inside the grocery shop. He never told me we could have shortage in meat. No. You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, one day I'm gonna send you the picture of the fridge inside the grocery shop to see even the cuts that we have for meat here. It's very interesting. They have the head and everything, and the brain tray and the feet and the tongues and the throats and everything. Like they don't miss a thing when it comes to the organs or the whole part of the sheep or the cow.
How's the how is the vegan community in Kuwait? Are they pushing a lot of veganism there? Is that going over very well? Or
Yes, they are. And I don't think they are vegan. I don't know. Like I don't. How are people could be vegan? Doesn't make sense. Like we all played the whole vegan plant based for a while. We all tapped into this, and we did something vegan by default, as they say. But I don't think there is any awareness here for carnivore that's loud. I'm doing the best I can in my stories to always talk about fasting and meat. Some people are questioning, some people receiving attention, some people trying to understand it better, but I think it needs like big campaign here. Like it's yeah, I don't understand how anyone could live vegan healthy.
is there a let me ask you this: what percentage of folks in Kuwait are English speaking? Is it do most people speak English?
Yeah,
So do you have
most of the people, most of the people here speak English. Yes,
is that the preferred language, or is that or is most people used still speaking, I guess, some Arabic of some sort?
I think it's a preferred language if you would say that, because we all somehow end up communicating in English with each other, even for our like in my country I also speak in English, and most of the people that follow me are Arab, and in their communicating back to me it's in English, and most of them are Arab. I think it's just something we all kind of sort of used to speak from school or TV. I don't know, but we just all speak English most of the time here. Yes.
I'm going to change topics back to bone. People are talking about preparation, making me hungry. I haven't eaten yet today. They're talking about bone marrow. And how do you? I mean, do you have the butcher split the bones for you? Do you have a way to do it yourself?
Yeah. No, what I do is I have the butcher's number, and I always he doesn't get this request a lot. I remember my friend, she made that post where she said sorry for vegans friends, because she started to make her pasture broth as well. And she also told me she's also a mother of one kid, and she told me that she feels super energetic, like she had 10 cups of coffee. And this is how I personally feel too. I think broth is great awareness, and I think the organs too, like Dr. Sean Baker, I think the organs are very important too. Like we have one special meal. I finished one thing about the broth though. Like I call the butcher, and I always make sure he put for me the bones on the side, because he doesn't before he throw them out. And that's what he does. He collect the bones for me, and then he asks me if I can come, and I just pick it. And I always make sure that the bone has fats, and inside it has good amount of marrow. It's not the bone cut that's small. It's a bone cut that comes where everything is inside the bone, the marrow and the fats all around it. And I boil it. I simmer it, not boil it. I first bake the bone to just get it cooked a little bit, and then for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and then I put it in water and I simmer it for 12 hours. And then I take the bone out, take the broth in jars, and take the bone out, and I eat one marrow at the time, from one bone piece at the time, with each time I drink my broth. It's kind of like a meal, actually. It's heavy and it's full, and it's great. It's a whole meal. Like you could skip a meal for a broth with a marrow.
Is there any, I guess, specialty ways to prepare meat, dried meats that are unique to that region of the world that most of us are unfamiliar with? Like I know there's different, like in South Africa, they have biltong, and different places have different sort of preparations. What kind of spices or preparation methods that are kind
In the Middle East, we're famous with kebab.
of
I
kebabs?
don't know
Yeah.
if kebab, yes, and the gyro, but it's not really gyro. We call it shawarma, but you can have it without bread. You could get the meat from the gyro without having the bread, and it's something we all do here. Salt and pepper is our famous thing, and a lot of Arabic spices and herbs, but like ginger spice and paprika spice. But Lebanese people and the kebab restaurants, they serve you one meal. It's called kibbanaya. It's meat that's not cooked. It's grounded beef that's fresh and it's not cooked. And they may add over it olive oil or not, but it's so red and it's very delicious. I'll send you the name of it after this in Instagram. You can take a look at it. It's very delicious, and it's fresh meat and it's not cooked.
Yeah, I was going to plug. Do you do any cook? Are you a cook yourself? Do you do much cooking yourself?
I think the best thing about carnivore is really you don't have to be a cook. It's only steak and it's marrow. I mean, it's very basic dishes that you can't go wrong with it. I learned great techniques to make my steak, and I'm very happy with how it ended up, like the end results. I put butter, a lot of butter, and then I leave it on in temperature that's 6 American electricity stove. I don't know if that I make sense when I say 6 temperature.
So kind of medium high, medium.
Yeah, and then I put it on one side for 3 minutes and the other side for 3 minutes, or 2 minutes and 2 minutes. And I love it rare to medium rare, but rare more. Like the more blood I see coming off the steak, the more delicious it tastes to me. But I know I don't know where else can I say the things, because if I sounded like this in front of people, they'd be like, "That's crazy! You're eating, like steak that's not cooked." But I feel better, so it works.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us like our steaks rare, medium rare. I don't think many. I mean, I think probably a high percentage of people prefer it that way. Quite honestly, not everybody does raw. We have I'm just wondering if at some point you could join Brooke, who's in the chat here. She has a cooking every Wednesday, I believe. Maybe you could do a little cooking demo, or I don't know if she's interested in something like that. But getting people to come in there and show off recipes, maybe the bone marrow or something like that, might be fun to do at some point. Those things are Brooke's waving to you, so come on over. I don't know if you address this fully. Are you getting any pushback from other people, your friends, family, saying they don't think it's a good idea for you to do a carnivore diet over there? Is there people that are saying they're worried about you?
No, not at all. I think the Middle East is a great place to approach this diet because it makes sense. Because people eat meat, and we born and raised knowing that meat is important in our culture. We're not naturally vegan or plant-based. We have good dishes that's vegetables and fruits, but we don't think of them as a main dish. We think of them as a side dish. And with the whole struggle with health that's happening now, with immune system and the weight gaining and all of the health crisis that we have now, if somebody stand up and say, "Well, I never get sick, I barely get flu or cold, I feel high energy, my caffeine is very limited, I work out every morning, I'm representing this diet plan," people will definitely give it attention. And more people like me, the more people will start to listen and pay awareness and attention. And I think Kuwait should, or the Middle East should start thinking of carnivore restaurant, because it's really like everyone eats meat. You can make a lot of dishes by just meat or eggs or bacon. And I think I think Kuwait, with some awareness for carnivore, or not just Kuwait, the whole Middle East could receive a lot of value with that diet.
Yeah, I like I said, when I think about what we're doing in the, I guess in the more sort of West, America, West, Australia, some of these places, England, with regard to pushing everybody towards these plant-based diets, just, I see as devolution in the robustness of our people. And I think it's a shame to see that some people, hopefully, whether it's due to whatever systems they have.
No, but over here, Dr. Sean, like there's no push on veganism as in a necessarily thing. I think it's just a trend, people just being cool, thinking they are vegan. But I know for sure a little bit of clarity with Carnivore and more ambassadors here, or like more people speak about it and say, well, I did it from this point and now I'm at that point and this is how it works, and it works, but you have to allow your body to accept the process of the change. Is very important. I want to also mention that water is so important. Like I drink a lot of water, and I know that with meat, it's good to digest properly, and water is very important. Like I drink a lot of water during my day while I'm fasting and after I eat, and I feel like water is very important factor.
Yeah, I was wondering about I guess because when you say how many days a month or week do you fast, or how often does that occur?
I fast every day.
So you do an intermittent fasting for a period.
Every day, yeah. I
Do you
do
ever
intermittent day.
do you ever do any extended fasting where you go a day or two and just do broth and maybe, I guess, marrow?
Yes.
Some people
Yes.
are marrow
Yes.
fats.
And without force. Like I don't push myself, or I tell myself the struggle is real and I'm just gonna do it. No, I just listen to my body because I feel full from the food I eat, and the amount of fats I take in my food is a lot, and I just next day could not feel of course I don't like breakfast. I don't ever feel when I get up after I work out or before I work out that I'm hungry for breakfast. So I'm used to not having breakfast, but sometimes I'll skip lunch, and then at the end of the day, I would feel like I just will call it off and I will not have anything except a broth. And then I will have a broth and fall asleep. Next day, I will skip breakfast, and then I will do lunch and dinner, and I will continue like that. But I showed you once, like my meat cuts are big and my broth is big, and the fats in my broth and the marrow are a lot. So it kind of charges you very well. You feel full and you feel good, and I think fasting also served me a lot.
When I'm just going to say, well, I mean, I want to comment. Somebody was asking if you would hopefully join the women's group. We have this Meet RX meeting. They have a women's group, and I can't remember what day it's on, but we have all these different meetings. So if you'd be willing to come in there and hang out with the women, I think they're some of the.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah. And I do believe that it is great for I don't know about especially women, but I know like us, we don't have sometimes the whole time in the world to get active physically to the point where I would feel bad if one day I didn't work out. But I also want to feel healthy, and I want to feel that my body is strong, that when I sit, my abs are feeling strong and my back is straight, my bones are healthy, my brain is focused, not foggy and tired. I think all those things are very great support when it comes to the diet and women, because we go through a lot of stress with the kids and ourselves and our work, and sometimes we just need that support from a simple thing as our food. And I feel like Carnivore is one of those great things that even serve my ability to focus, and I think that was another thing that's awesome. I don't know if it was the fat or the meat. I know our brain needs a lot of fat, or it made from a lot of fat, and I know that it's good for it. So I'm not sure if it's the fat or the meat, but it's the same source.
Yeah, are you I guess you've been doing this kind of off and on, more or less for 2 years now. Have you found any problems that you had to make adjustments to along the way?
I think adjusting to it in the beginning or now towards like being in it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, both are fine. I mean, some people are new and they like to know about the transition period.
Adjusting in the beginning because you cut the unnecessarily food that your body may take very fast time to digest, like carbs. Your body just digest it fast. You get hungrier faster. But with carnivore, I feel the switch in the beginning, you may feel a little hungry more, and then you start to eat more meat. You may go through a little bit of constipation, but this all fix itself out. I gained weight in the beginning, and then I dropped all the weight, and I started to feel better than ever with my size. And towards now that I'm officially been doing it for a whole year without mixing between any other things that's unnecessarily to my system, except a cookie here and there or fried chicken or sweets, in special occasions. But I would say right now, I would not crave anything that's like bread or vegetables. I think I feel very odd when I see people eating banana. Like I feel sick without having to eat it with them. and yeah, I wouldn't crave things like bread, and that wasn't the case 2 years ago at all. I wouldn't crave things like pastries. I wouldn't crave rice or pasta. I think those are weird objects when it comes to my diet.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Sarah, it's been a wonderful pleasure talking to you. Like I said, it's good to get people's perspective from different parts of the world. That's one of the great things about this sort of platform is we have a really, a growing international presence. And I certainly appreciate you coming on. I think it's always, like I said, fun to get different perspectives here. Let us know where people might find out more about you, if they want to follow you, if your social media, how to get a hold of you. And again, of course, we extend the offer to have you come join some of our women's groups and any group you want. Quite honestly, we like I said, we do this every day. In fact, I think we have something like today. We have something like 10 meetings. I mean, today's a pretty busy day for us, but every day there's many meetings. So let us know about where you can be found.
In Instagram, my name is Coach Sara Abaza. Sara, coach, and then Sara as in Sara Abaz. And this is where I am, and I have a website also, saraabaza.com. And this is where I put everything of me and about me, from my daily habits to my food to my work, everything.
Awesome. Well, wonderful, guys. Well, I am, like you said, I'm excited to eat. I haven't trained yet. I got to do some exercise. On Sunday, I think I've got to do 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 thrusters. So that's my morning, and then I'm going to eat. So hopefully everyone is, like I said, guys, I know we're all confined to our homes more or less. Hopefully you guys are using this time to get healthy instead of, not getting healthy. Use this time to get stronger, both mentally and physically. Eat well. If you can exercise, challenge yourself. This is there's two ways this can go. And I think us in the Carnivore Meter X community are going to be example. So
yes.
I'm
very grateful and thankful for your time, Dr. Sean, and I'm very happy to be part of this. I'm very grateful and thankful from all my heart that I got the chance to do this. Nothing better than also sharing an experience that made me feel healthier and better. It's such a great chance for me to feel out of doubt of what I eat and have less thinking about food and just being focused with one great thing that serves me and be able to share too. That's great. Thank you so much for your attention and your time, and for everyone there.
Yeah, I'm sure I speak for everyone when they say thank you as well. Thanks for being a representative in the Middle East. I'd love someday to visit. Well, maybe when all this coronavirus silliness is done, I'd like to get out there and try some of that stuff. But I'm sure
We
we'll.
should visit schools and universities and you speak about this from your perspective. You share a lot of science that no one else can tap into. Most of the people that speak carnivore, they tap into their ability in fitness and how effective them in fitness, but you speak about a lot of science, and that's where I'm always amazed with what you bring up in science. And it would be great thing to, it saves the world, like it saves young generation from their emotional eating, and it serves a lot of people, big chapter of people that just missing out by not knowing what's good out there for them.
Yeah, I think we're just getting started with this, and I'm excited to see what the coming years bring. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to shut the meeting down, guys.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye, Sarah. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day, and we'll see many of you guys tomorrow. Take care.